ready to, I'm listening.
Happy 25th birthday, Princess. I couldn't have imagined 25 years ago today that you'd be my ride or die and best friend ever. We've been together through thick and thicker, and our bond has grown very strong over the years. Can't imagine what life would be like without you. I live and breathe each day for you. I look forward to coming home and seeing your beautiful smiling face. In fact, just knowing that you're in my life brings joy to my heart. One of my many blessings that God has ever bestowed upon me is when He blessed me with you, Brittany Aurelia Shepherd. I have watched you grow from a very little girl, beating up boys in the daycare center at age 3, to looking gorgeous in your prom dresses. I love you more than words can ever express. You are 25 in numbers, but for as long as I shall live, you will always be my baby and life-size Barbie. So, to commemorate your life and just how special you are to me, I'm gifting you with $25 for the 25 years that you've been on this earth. Age 25 times 25th birthday equals 625. Surprised? Yes. Here's $625 for you, and this will hold you down until you get your PFD in October. Smile, little mom.
I'm ready now.
Britt, a real family doesn't come in one size fits all. A real family support each other and celebrate life together. That's what I feel in my heart about you and your family. I want you to enjoy your 25th birthday and many more. If you and your friend decide to get married, please don't forget about me. You will be a beautiful bride one day. Family has its ups and downs, struggles and challenges, but it's support within the family, like you and your family means to me. I definitely miss you when you leave Alaska. To me, it seems like a bad nightmare, but I truly understand your mother's decision. I love you, Britt. Enjoy this very special day. Love always, Gloria.
Come to Alaska, my family came in 1969. He was an electronic technician for the FAA. He always wanted to come out to Alaska, so he made his way here. And he was stationed all throughout Alaska when he first came. So he was first in Glen Ellen, then along the Aleutian Chain in Cold Bay, Alaska, and then he finally ended up in Anchorage. So yes, folks, I do like to say I know Alaska like the back of my hand. As if you guys do have friends or family that ask where you visited in Alaska, you should make an L with your right hand pointing down and say Anchorage. It's kind of a cool thing. I'm a marine biologist. That's because most of my grades were below sea level. Now, since graduating high school here in Alaska, I now go to school at Utah Valley University, also known as UVU. So I go to school down there and always manage to come back up here during the summertime to hang out with friends and family and hopefully make a buck or two to pay off that tuition. So that's the goal. There at UVU, I'm studying outdoor recreation and should have my bachelor's degree within the next year. So I'm on the home stretch. Thank you very much. Now, folks, do you guys have any questions or concerns before we do get started here? All right, if you guys do need to open up the windows, feel free to. There's a lever in the middle of the window. You push that lever down, it should just slide on open. Please do not use the emergency exit handles, which are located below the windows to try and open them. Those are for emergencies only. They're very good tasting. Unless you're vegetarian, you might think otherwise. Now, we're going to be turning left here, but a block ahead of us and to the right is a Club 25 sign hanging off the side of the building. Do you guys see that Club 25 sign? Yep. So just below that sign on that street corner, there's a statue of a dog. Now, the nose of that statue is where they have the ceremonial start for the famous Iditarod sled dog race here in downtown Anchorage. That race commemorates the 1925 Serum Run to Nome. Nome at the time had quite a few people who were suffering from diphtheria, and the only way to get the treatment there was by mushing it with sled dogs. Now, you guys might have heard of the famous sled dog. You guys might have heard of the famous sled dog that led the team there. His name was?
Balto.
Balto, there we go. So Balto is that heroic dog that raced through the blizzard and saved all those people in Nome. So he's pretty well known throughout Alaska and out here he then sailed to Hawaii. So he's actually considered one of the first Alaskans to go from visiting Alaska to Hawaii, and now we all try to follow in his footsteps. Especially during the winter time. Winters can be long, dark, and cold here, so many Alaskans tend to choose Hawaii as their prime vacation spot. Now here on the right in this building is Simon and Seaports. There's a sign right behind this van for it. Simon and Seaports. So it's a really good seafood restaurant if you guys are interested. I recommend that one or down by the railroad station. If you cross the railroad tracks, there's the Ulu factory, and behind the Ulu factory is a Bridge seafood restaurant. So two really good seafood restaurants here in Anchorage. Now to the right is the Copper Whale. You guys can rent a bike and go 2 blocks down along the coast is the Tony Knowles Coastal Trail. So it's an 11-mile trail along the coast. Tony Knowles, he's an old governor of the mansion he decided to build. That's because people actually bought and read the newspaper back in the day. And nowadays everyone just gets on their mobile devices and watches TV in order to get informed on current events. Now what was Robert Atwood doing the evening of the earthquake in 1964? He was practicing his trumpet in his bedroom, and the earthquake happened. Now the earthquake made his room cave in, and he almost died. Luckily enough he didn't die. But some people do like to blame him for the earthquake. They say his trumpet playing caused it. So I guess that's why they call it practice. Now here in Alaska we have 9 main native tribes. 4 out of 9 of these tribes would traditionally build their homes underground in order to survive the severe cold winters here. So by building these homes underground they keep them better insulated. Now you guys are actually going to see a modern day home that's built underground coming up here on your right hand side. So this one that you guys are about to see was officially done being built in 1992. So here it is, the underground home.
Wow.
So there are the 2 skylights. There's that glass overhang so they can go down the stairs and enter into the home. This is about a 2,800 square foot home. So it is pretty decent size. Now it is built on a slope, so it's not completely underground. The back side of it is uncovered. You have windows and doors that they can easily access if they need to. But it does stay well heated throughout the year, front being underground. This home also has a heated driveway to melt the snow in the winter time. So pretty convenient place to live. Although there is one problem with owning a house like this. You do have to mow your roof from time to time. Now many people ask me what's the average home cost here in Anchorage. Both terms are used, but snow machine is a more common term. So snow machine and lower 48, the 2 terms you guys should be saying by the time you leave Alaska. Now we are on our way to Earthquake Park. Earthquake did happen on March 27th, 1964 at 5:36 p.m. It was a magnitude of 9.2, and it did last a total of 4 minutes and 38 seconds. So the 2nd largest earthquake in the world and the longest ever recorded earthquake. So you guys are going to see some of the effects of what happened here back in 1964 as we turn in here at Earthquake Park. Alrighty folks, so we're on the North American plate tectonic and over here is the Pacific plate tectonic. Now during those 4 minutes and 38 seconds, those plate tectonics collided and pulled apart. Now that colliding created friction. Friction creates heat. All on the Pacific plate here in the ground is blue clay. Now blue clay I like to compare it to Jello, because Jello is solid until you stick it in the microwave. Once it reaches a certain temperature, it melts. Now all this blue clay, once it reaches a certain temperature from all that friction and heat, it actually melted and dropped. So when this happens, it's called liquefaction. So this drop that you guys are looking at over here on your right hand side into the woods was caused from the 1964 earthquake. So in other words, before the earthquake happened, this used to be level to the concrete that we're on right now. So pretty amazing. It's about a 20-foot. Now these trees are called black spruce trees. They are unique here in Alaska because they're one of the few trees that can actually grow on top of permafrost. So if you guys are thinking about buying a piece of land here in Alaska and you see these trees, you know not to buy it. Okay, don't build anything on top of it. So it's not the best habitat for humans, but it is the perfect one for the Alaskan moose. Now, that's why we do have these fences here to prevent moose from crossing these busy roads during the summertime. This is just a three-way fence, so moose can't get off on the backside. Now up here, this is a moose gate made of chicken wire. The wires are supposed to be pointed inward so moose can easily enter in, but when they try and come out, those wires are supposed to bonk them in the head. And they don't like the feeling of it, so it usually forces them to turn around and stay in that habitat. So I like to call it a modern day moose gooser. That's to protect the moose. Now keep your eyes for the folks here on the left and on the right. We have seen moose on either side of the road before. So hopefully we do see one. If you guys do see one, let me know. I'll pull over to the side of the road so you just get pictures or a better view of it. But yeah, they do come and go as they please. So yeah, hopefully we do see one. Now moose, they can travel short distances up to 35 miles per hour. And they can trot steadily up to 20 miles per hour. So they are pretty fast for how big they are. A female moose is referred to as a cow, and a male moose is referred to as a bull. Now bull moose, they do drop and regrow their antlers every year. They drop them right after mating season and right before the winters to conserve energy. And it takes about 3 to 5 months for them to fully develop once again in the spring. And when these antlers are fully developed, they can be a little over 60 inches wide from antler to antler, so they are big. A cow moose can range anywhere from 450 pounds up to almost 800 pounds. And a bull moose can range anywhere from 800 pounds up to almost 1,500 pounds when they're fully grown. So they are massive animals. That is one fear that all Alaskan drivers do have, is hitting a moose. Especially if you're in a smaller vehicle. And say you're going 35 miles per hour down the street, and a moose runs out of the road, runs out of the woods onto the road, and bam, you clip the legs of a moose. Can you imagine a 1,000-pound impact falling over top of you through your windshield? That'll kill you, right? So we do have accidents and deaths that happen each year. It is unfortunate, but they do happen. So you always gotta be cautious while driving here, especially during the winters, because it can be hard to see moose alongside the road because it is pretty dark here during the winter time, and it's also harder to slow down because of the icy roads. Now these moose that do get hit by vehicles, they oftentimes don't survive. So fishing game will then be notified, and they try to save any of the meat that they can from it. So, yeah, so pretty cool option. They donate some of it to homeless shelters, but I've heard that if you're an Alaska resident, you can write your name down on a list, and fishing game will give your family a portion of that moose meat. So yeah, they'll just keep going down the list depending on how many road kills happen. But moose meat is very delicious. A lot of people do love to eat it here. Moose is a species of deer, so they're very good tasting. Now moose and bear are both very populated all throughout Alaska. So if you guys do like to go out hiking or walking along trails, many Alaskans, when they do this activity, they tend to carry bells, whistles, bear spray, or even a gun with them, just for extra safety precautions. So I'd recommend doing the same as well. Now that's one thing that my dad always says about living here, is that at least if he does die, he'll see it coming. Right? He'll be wrong, like a poisonous spider bite in his shoe or a snake bite. So you don't have to worry about those here in Alaska, but you do have to worry about big game animals. Now my friend and I, a month ago, we were actually walking out along a trail, and 10 minutes into that trail, we turned the corner, and a little over 100 feet in front of us was a mama black bear and a cub. So you just never know when you're going to sneak up on them or they sneak up on you. You always got to be aware of your surroundings here in Alaska. You never want to get between a mama bear and its cub, or a cow moose and its calf. Like any protected mother, right? If they find you as a threat, they will charge. Now, we are approaching Lake Hood and Lake Spinnard, the busiest and largest seaplane base in the world. They average around 190 landings and takeoffs a day throughout the year here. Now here's an aircraft crossing sign, so these gates do open on up and aircraft cross right in front of us. Over here to the landing and takeoff strip here on the left, where they come on in and they park their planes here on their right. So it is pretty neat looking to see them cross in front. They definitely have the right of way. Now this is kind of a funny sign to me up ahead. It says caution, yield to all aircraft. Right, like who's not going to yield to an aircraft? Now to the right off in the distance is a control tower that controls the Ted Stevens International Airport and this airport. Ted Stevens, he was the Senator of Alaska up until 2009, so the airport's named after him. Now in 2011 and 2012, we actually had our largest snowfall here in Anchorage. we had 134.5 inches. So almost double our average. And that airport has never been shut down because of snow. So they do make sure to clear off those runways and allow it to be fully operational all year round. Now all these planes on your right and on your left that you guys are looking at along this road, you guys are looking at approximately 40% of Alaska's total population of small engine aircrafts. So 40% on these two lakes, Lake Hood and Lake Spindarn. These planes that are on these lakes, the landing gear that they're on are called pontoons. So that makes it so they can land and take off on lakes and other bodies of water. So they use pontoons or tires during the summertime, but during the wintertime they'll use skis. So they do fly all year round. Now this big shiny silver plane coming up here on your right, this is called a Havilland Beaver. So this specific plane was built in 1947. And here's another Havilland Beaver here on your left, this big shiny silver one. They don't make the Havilland Beavers anymore, and they range in price as low as $250,000 up to almost $1 million. So they can be very, very expensive depending on the model and year they're made. Now this white Super Cub coming up here on your right hand side, underneath the left wing, you'll notice it has a gun case strapped to it. That's usually how they strap their guns to these planes.
Oh, I see.
So like I said here in Alaska, we do like to have guns for safety reasons, but also go out hunting for wildlife. So if they do use these planes to go out hunting, as soon as they land, it is a law that they have to wait 24 hours before they can actually go and hunt that wildlife animal. So you can't just shoot them right out of the planes or right as you do land. You have to wait that 24 hours to give them a fair chance. Now Super Cubs can usually fit 2 people in them. They just fit single file. Now here's another Super Cub coming up here on your right. Now can you guys imagine trying to sit comfortably in a Super Cub? I might feel kind of claustrophobic in there. So there's a Super Cub over here is a Cessna, this blue and white plane. And here's another Super Cub as well. Now this black Super Cub has all these big round tires. Those are called Tundra tires. So they're very durable and they're designed to land on almost any surface, such as grass, sand, gravel, you name it. So they absorb the impact and they make very smoother landing. Now a lot of people do like to have Super Cubs here in Alaska because they can land and take off within 100 feet. So everybody gets all the remote places throughout Alaska. Now this white and blue plane here on the right is another Cessna. Cessnas can usually fit 4 people in them. They do sit 2 and 2. So Cessnas and Super Cubs are the most common planes out here along the lakes. That's what surround the majority of the lakes. And they range in price as low as $20,000 up to $250,000 depending on the model and year they're made. Now many people ask me why they have these huts along the lakes. I usually tell them that's where the husbands go to live after they buy a plane without their wife's permission. So the doghouse. So they actually use that storage sheds for equipment and gear and things like that depending on the trip that they go on. Also tools to work on these planes. Now the majority of these planes are privately owned, but they do have a couple guiding services out here if you guys are interested. They can take you on a 1-hour flight tour. It usually costs around $150 per person. So pretty interesting thing if you guys are wanting to do that. Here it is a pretty cool experience. Now a lot of these planes, they do look older. That's because they are. They're passed on from generation to generation through families. Now you're able to get your pilot's license here in Alaska once you turn 16 years old. So once you turn 16, that's when you can fly solo. And then when you're 17, you can get a certificate to fly with passengers on board. So they do start me on here. It's almost like driving a car. Almost as common, but not quite. But a lot of people do have their pilot's license here in Alaska. Now, in order to get that pilot's license, you do need 40 hours of flight experience. So 40 hours to qualify for it. And it also costs at least 10 grand. So it is pretty expensive because you're having to pay for the fuel and other expenses as well. So yeah, it can be pretty expensive. Now, if you're on the right, this is Lake Spinard that we're passing. Lake Spinard was named after a famous Joe Spinard. Joe Spinard was pretty well known back in the day. That's because he built the first bar in downtown Anchorage. So everybody knew Joe. Now he did make quite the profit owning a bar, but then Prohibition happened, and he was forced to move his bar from downtown Anchorage. So he decided to move it beyond city limits out here along the lake. Now, when he initially moved his bar out here along the lake, many people still made that trip from downtown Anchorage out here to come to Joe's bar. Now I'm sure the walk out here was a lot easier than the walk back, but I hear his bar wasn't the safest place to be at. They did tend to have a lot of bar fights and shootings. That's because the ratio at the time was 8 men to every 1 woman. So the odds were good, but the goods were odd. And so because of that ratio, a lot of the men fought with other men over the women and so forth. So it did tend to lead to fights and shootings from time to time. So a pretty dangerous place to be at was Joe's bar. Nowadays that ratio has improved. There are still more males to females, but it is pretty close to half. So it's about 52% male, 48% female. So we are thankful for that increase. Now Joe's bar does not exist out there on the lake anymore. Instead they have a big brown lodge called the Lakefront Hotel. So people can go stay out there and see all these float planes and land and take off throughout the day. Which is where? Okay, very cool. That's awesome. Do you see any color besides green?
No, just green.
Just green, yeah. Green's the most common Northern Light color to see. Yeah, so Alaska is a common place to see the Northern Lights, but there are other places to see them. They do come in a variety of different colors, such as green, purple, pink, red, yellow, blue, orange. All these vibrant colors that can be seen in. But green is definitely the most common Northern Light color to be seen. It's kind of like the green on these street lights. It's usually what shines in the night sky. But yeah, they are created from solar flares that come off the sun and they stretch across the night sky. So, keywords, folks, night sky. So it does have to be dark out in order to see them. So you usually can see them from September to April, between that time frame, but the best months to see them is January to March. That's usually when they happen a lot more frequently here. And a lot of people describe this kind of clear dancing across the night sky as if you have a ribbon waving in the air. So they are some of the coolest and prettiest things I've ever seen in my life. So if you guys do get the opportunity to see them. So if you guys do come back to Alaska here during the winter to see the Northern Lights, just keep in mind that a lot of the hotels throughout Alaska, upon request, they will give you a wake-up call in the middle of the night and let you know that the Northern Lights are seen outside. So, pretty cool thing. You have to request it to happen though, so don't expect it. But yeah, pretty cool things. You don't miss out on the opportunity to see them. And do you guys like to fish, or do you guys like to eat fish? Yeah, so here in Alaska we do love to fish, especially for salmon. So we do have your typical type of fishing with a rod, but we also have another style of fishing called dip netting. The scale. The black well is the bowhead well, and the white well is the beluga well. So these are the 2 different types of wells they might be able to see out along the coast or on cruise ships here in Alaska. Yeah, pretty amazing these are painted to scale. Now this building that it's painted on, you'd assume it would be an aquarium of some sort, but it's just the backside of JCPenney's. Now who here likes ice cream? Raise your hand. Everyone like ice cream? If your hand's not up, you're lying. So here in Alaska we are the #1 consumers of ice cream per capita. So even though it does get cold here, we still love our ice cream, and half a block ahead of us and to the right is the most famous ice cream place here in downtown Anchorage called Wild Scoops. So it's open until 10 p.m. if you guys are interested. Now the #1 consumed flavor here in Alaska is strawberry. Now I know that disappoints, because you'd assume it'd be Moose Tracks or Rocky Road, but it is strawberry. Now here on the left, this is Town Square Park. This is a very popular park during the summertime. People do love to come here, hang out, listen to live music. That's not enough events hosted out here as well. But also people love to walk through the park to see all the different varieties of flowers that they planted here. So all these flowers and flower pots throughout downtown Anchorage, they do water these flowers daily. It is quite the chore, but it does make the city look very, very pretty. Also, they do grow a lot bigger here than in other places because of how much daylight we get here during the summertime. So that plays a big factor in it. Now unfortunately folks, our tour does have to come to an end, but on behalf of Alaska and Anchorage Trolley Tours, we thank you so very much for coming. Hopefully the tour was informative and entertaining. Now you guys can go review us at tripadvisor.com. If you enjoyed the tour, my name is Skylar. If you didn't, my name is Cyrus. So thanks so much for coming folks, and hope you enjoy the rest of your stay here in Alaska.
Thank you.
No problem.
Somebody parked in the spot.
I know, someone parked right in the spot, so I'll have to wait a second. So once I do put this in park, folks, I'll be the first to get out, and I can lend a hand to anybody that needs it. Please watch your step on their way out, and please do not forget any of your belongings. Thanks so much for coming. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.